Hi again. So, now we're going to be talking about isostasy. Isostasy is how high a rigid object floats in a fluid medium. When we're talking about earth materials, we're discussing a rigid object as the lithosphere, the crust, what we stand on. And when we say it floats, we're saying it's floating in a fluid medium, which is the asthenosphere. Now remember, the asthenosphere is part of the mantle, and the crust is not. The crust floats on top of the asthenosphere, and that's why we're doing this study today, to learn about why and how the crust is floating. So for this lab, you're given this equation here. What it says is that the height of the wooden block, which we're going to use as our crust today, the height of the wooden block below the water line, this part here, H below, this little part, H below here, is equal to the density of the object, which is the wooden block, the density of the object divided by the density of the fluid, which here we are going to be using water, so that density is 1 gram per cubic centimeter, times the total height. So again, height below equals density of the object divided by density of the water times the total height. In this lab, what you're going to have to do is rearrange this equation and use it in different ways. You should be able to do this on your own, and I'd like you to try it as best you can, but I did write it below here just to rearrange. If anybody needs help with the algebra on how to do that, please let me know. But here I rearranged the equation to solve for the density of the object. The questions we are going to be answering are going to be asking for what the density of the crust is, or in this case, what is the density of the wooden block. So I rearranged the equation to find the density. Density of the wooden block is equal to the height below the water line divided by the total height times the density of water. Again, the density of water is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. So you're multiplying by 1 at the end. Keep that in mind. As we continue through the lab, there's going to be a few different questions, and one of the questions asks about how high the oceanic lithosphere floats above the asthenosphere. So it's asking for H above. What is the height above the asthenosphere? In this equation, we're looking for the height below. So it's important to keep in mind that your total height is H above plus H below. So after you solve your equation for your object or for H below, you have one more step to do to solve for H above. If you find H below and you already know your total H, then all you're left with is this H above. If you guys have any other questions or comments, please let me know.